Mind the gap.
Hello commuters, and welcome to this episode number 3 of 5 painting skeletons. And in this episode we're going to paint just the 3 skeletons. On one we're going to give it a nice dark base and then build the dry brushes up from there, and then we'll finish that one off with a darker shade. And the final 2 are going to be fairly similar, except that what we're going to do is we're just going to alternate where the shade actually comes. So grab yourself a drink, pull up a seat, and hopefully enjoy the video. Now, you know me, I do lose footage every now and again. The bad news is I did manage to lose some footage on this one. Thankfully it was just the first skeleton. I lost the part of the video where I just based the initial base coat. So we actually picked the video up from the second base coat, which in this case is Rhinox Hide from Games Workshop. Becoming a cliche now, but obviously other paints are available. And what we'll do is we'll just apply a thin coat, in this case a second thin coat. If you do thin it slightly more than I did, you may need a third coat. Okay, once that's fully dry, we want to apply an all-over dry brush of Steel Legion Drab. Exactly the same as before. Keep it nice and light. You can always add layers, but you can't take them away. Okay, next up is Rakarth Flesh, and we need to be careful here because we are going to be doing another dry brush over this, and this does easily overpower. It's quite a light shade. Okay, our final dry brush will be Pallid Witch Flesh. As you can see, it's a very light colour. Now we will be coming in, just like our previous skeletons, from a 45-degree angle, and we're only going to be dry brushing the areas that we can reach at that angle. Okay, and we'll finish that off with an all-over shade of Agrax Earthshade. Try not to let it pull too much. Just as before, paint it rather than wash it, really. As I say, just don't let it pull too much. And although this one is still wet, I think you'll agree it's a fine looking skeleton. Okay, on to our second skeleton of the video, the 11th one of the series, and we're going to be applying a thin base coat of Zandri Dust. Again, apply as many base coats as you feel necessary. And applying a second coat, which for me I found was sufficient. Okay, once that's dry, we need to apply an all-over shade of Agrax Earthshade. Again, making sure it doesn't pool too much. Okay, so we allow that to dry, and then once dried, we're then going to do an all-over dry brush of Ushabti Bone. Okay, and we're going to do a final highlight using a dry brush, using Screaming Skull, just coming in from a 45-degree angle. And here we have our second completed skeleton of this video. Okay, on to our third skeleton of this video, and this will be our last one, and we're going to begin a base coat of Xandri dust. I cannot reiterate enough, thin layers. Now if you are following along, this one is actually the same base coat as the previous skeleton, so you might want to, as I did, do number 11, then do number 12, then go back to number 11. Okay, due to lost video clip issues, we just pretend that we've applied 2 coats. Actually, I did apply 2 coats, but I've just got nothing to show for it. So the next stage, we're going to do an all-over dry brush of Ushabti bone. Doesn't matter if you go in slightly too heavy here. We are going to shade it next, which will dull it down. But obviously, we just, you know, a nice all over dry brush. Okay, and then the next stage we'll use Agrak's Earthshade, and we'll just give that an all over a nice sort of a painty, shady wash. Don't go too heavy in the recesses, don't let it pull too much. We're just looking to darken the recesses a little bit and just overall shade it. Okay, so once that's dry, we're looking at just doing 45-degree dry brushed highlights with Pallid Witch Flesh, and that should complete the model. Okay, and this is the finished third skeleton. I don't know about you, but I think he looks pretty good, especially with that lovely cape. Once that's filled in, it's really going to stand out. Okay, so I thought I'd finish this video off by showing you, it's a bit of a rabble, but we have 10 completed skeletons now, and I think you'll agree that they're all individual skeletons, they're all slightly different colours, but at the same time they're definitely skeletons. They all do look as they're supposed to do. They're supposed to look. So I hope you'll join me next week when I will finish off the last 4 skeletons. I mean, it's turning into a wonderful project. I think you might agree. I say we'll just do 4 more, which will complete the 14 skeletons. Take care, guys.